What is up, Manny? How are you?
Yeah, what's up, Ryan? Just vibing to your intro song, man, to our intro song.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dent Digest Live Show.
What's up to everyone out there? What's up, Ryan?
I got something from Manny, though. I got your present today. I want to show you what it is.
What you got?
You sure you're ready? Sure you're ready?
Free hug shirt or what?
It is a free hug shirt. And if you guys didn't see his story today, I had to do it. Man, so you got to go back and watch Manny's story, and you'll understand the.
I'll tell you, man. The last 24 hours, like 36 hours, I was just freaking out. I just didn't know. The thing is that it's all related to a Tesla car. And, Teslas and trying to clear codes and trying to reset system could only be done at the dealership for most of the stuff, So I was just like, what an inconvenience I am about to create, or I created already because the client had to come back. Bet I will tell you, what a relief. Woo, boy, such a good feeling just to see that light go. Bye-bye. Oh,
but you learned something.
I feel good. Yes.
So that sensor in there is called a pressure sensor. It's not like a standard airbag sensor. Mm-hmm. What it is it sees when there's a push of air inside that door, and then it blows the bag. So
Yep.
I know a little bit, thing or two about airbag stuff. So.
That's why you got to make sure all that stuff it's all bolted and clipped on properly too.
Yeah, and that's why. A lot of the things I remember when I was at the Hail Expo, David Haxton was talking about this, about guys drilling holes in cars and how you put a plug in there and it changes that whole pressure sensor and what a safety issue it is. So,
so all of you guys that are like, oh, no big deal, just you have to think about further now that if, this is the thing. This is how my old boss always, pictured it. As soon as someone dies, the whole thing becomes a bigger issue, right? Mm-hmm. If that airbag, if the owner of the car sues Tesla because the airbag didn't save the passenger's life, Tesla goes into it, investigates. Who was the last person who touched that door? They find a hole in there. You're on the hook, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. And we all, we've all drilled holes. I don't.
Yeah.
Back in the day, bro, I was a gunslinger. We used to. It sounded like an IndyCar, pit stop. You know what I mean? We would drill like a bunch of them in the line.
Yeah.
But things have changed.
And we get it. But that's the thing. Things have changed.
Yeah.
With the engineering of these cars, and you just have to understand how they work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that is really good what you said. And I am so glad. And you know why that happened, Ryan? Trying to go at like 100 miles per hour, man. I was just so jammed that day. I was late for I already had my next appointment already waiting. I was already 30 minutes behind. It's just trying to hurry up, It's just like every time I try to hurry up or try to like rush something
happens.
So, but yeah, man. So today is a good day.
For me, it's been really difficult because I'm always into checking things. You take a taillight out, step on the brake, make sure the taillight works. Yeah. Now I'm not taking apart and I'm not putting them together. Mikey is. So when the car leaves, I'm like, did you check? He's like, yes, Ryan.
Yeah.
So, but any of my locals that are watching the show, Saturday's my open house.
Yeah, man. I was just going to say.
Well, grand opening, it's actually called, not an open house, but so it should be. I'm going to be giving you guys some updates on that throughout, some lives and pictures, and as much as I can. Seems like it's going to be a good event.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, Ryan.
But besides that, everything else is great, man. I missed you last week. We both took the week off, kind of enjoyed it, spent some time with the family, and I had a lot of text messages. People were like, "Everything okay? Everything okay?"
Yeah, I got to tell you, I missed the show. Even my family, even the wife's like, you're not going to do the show today? Like, oh, okay. You know, like.
Hey, we need it every now and then, keeping it fresh.
Shout outs to everyone watching. Thank you.
Now, I don't know how this is happening, but how can our guest be backstage and still commenting on the show? Because he's an active commenter in the show. So
Josh struggles, man. He's the man.
So I got a couple things. We got to go over the joke. And I got one, too, I really, really want to talk about.
Okay.
And it's super hard to get, but I'm in love.
All right.
I am truly, truly in love. This hammer from Glexo, man, I've been using it every single day.
Really?
Something about it's not as heavy as a VIP blending hammer. It's not as light, but it's not as heavy as the
Let's see the close-up of that head. Yeah.
But something about this hammer, the balance of it and the true bounce. I feel like it bounces more than a lot of them, and I don't know if it's because of these windows that are in there. But
it might be, because I could see that creating like a little bit of spring.
This thing, I love it, dude. Like,
that's awesome.
I'm using it literally on every single repair now. And I'm not a big blender. I've kind of taught myself, and something about this hammer I've actually caught myself lately using this for a knockdown.
Yeah.
And what I feel like, you look at the car's former hammer, right? I've got it. I don't have the Damascus one. I don't have the baller one. But I feel like this is finer. So like you have like the sniper tip from VIP and you have the standard VIP. I feel like this is a tighter hit. Like it's smaller contact area. I mean, it's got a smaller head.
Yeah.
And then a larger head.
Yeah.
But I'm in love, dude. I mean, this hammer.
I honestly, I don't know why I still don't have that hammer. And that's the thing about blending hammers, like especially with the fixed head, it's all about the balance, you know, because when you pound on that metal, believe it or not, that perfect weight balance, it creates that perfect vibration and just moves that metal a lot nicer, I feel.
And me and you have had this conversation about blending hammers, and I'm a true believer with you. I feel like a hammer that has the head connected, right, and not a screw-on tip, I feel like you lose something in the screw-on tip.
Yeah, it's the power of the force in it, man. You know?
And I had this guy in the shop, and it was a nasty dent on a Dodge up by the cab, like right where the stake hole is on the bed through the body line, and I fix it. And I'm just beating on this thing. You know, I'm actually using the middle one, the middle Glexo blending hammer, because I like that weight too. And when I went out to see him, he's like, "Can I see what you're doing? Because you're beating on my truck really hard." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, come on." So I'm explaining blending to him what we're doing and all that stuff. But he's like, "I'm so intrigued how you can just beat on this car and the dent's fixing." I'm like, yeah, it's fixing itself. This is how easy it is. You can go buy one of these and do it yourself.
Yeah, I always
tell you the website.
My
just buy a hammer and you can fix your own dents.
I always warn my clients, like, you know, like, hey, you're about to hear like that it sounds like I'm beating on it, but I'm really not. It just sounds louder than what it's doing because it's metal to metal, you know, but what it's really doing, it's a lot less than what it sounds like.
How was your week overall?
Busy, hot. It's been hot in California
Is it hot
this
there?
week. Oh yeah, we're hitting 90s already. I mean, hundreds. I think today we hit 100. Tomorrow, 100 for sure. So, but it's like that desert dry hot right now.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's just we're not used to that stuff.
That's the Alex from Den Hunters weather.
Yeah. That's his type of weather. Yeah, bring us down to like 70. That's where we like
You
it.
Californians are so picky. You get that even weather most of the year. You're okay. You don't get the snow and the humidity of 100%.
It was funny because I had a client standing out in the sun. I'm like, get over here, come to the shade. It's like, oh, I kind of like it. I'm like, where were you? I'm like, where were you born? It's like, oh, I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, oh, there you go.
I get it.
Yeah, that is funny, man.
So we got our weekly joke. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna leave Josh. I'm gonna put you on the spot. This is a good one. So my kid is sick, so I had to be creative and pick one.
Man. Hope she feels better. Hope she feels better.
Interweb. You ready? I know you're ready.
Let's go. Someone in the comments, help me, please.
You had an extra week.
Help me. Sean Yang, help me, brother.
What did one toilet say to the other?
What did one toilet say to the other?
So what did one toilet... Oh, you can't even see that. Okay. What did one toilet say to the other? Don't Google it. No cheating.
No. I'm just waiting for someone in the comments. I'm thinking, what did one
toilet say to the other?
Man, I don't know, Ryan.
You look a bit flushed. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. So let's get our guest on here. If you guys also, Anson Open House is coming up. If you're going, check it out. Looks like it's going to be a really good event. I'm not going to make it because we're slamming crazy busy here.
By the way, I have a pickup coming on in like a few minutes, so I'm going to have to step away for a few minutes. Those late deliveries.
Let me get Josh on here. Let's get him in.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
What's up, Josh?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Manny. It's nice.
We're doing dent things. We're doing dent things tonight.
I got to do a delivery. I'll be right back.
I understand.
Good old Manny. We gotta love him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't hate a guy that's trying to make some money.
He's busy. He's got a shop, so
anyway,
he's the customer.
We were talking about this before the show. You've been an avid watcher of this show for over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, you know, where are you out of? Let's start with that.
I'm in Cocoa Beach, Florida, so about 45 minutes east of Orlando.
Okay, it's not a bad place to be.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of alligators there, though, right?
We got alligators. We got sharks.
That's no fun.
We got manatees. So
been
here my whole life.
You used to be a wheel repair guy, correct? Let's get into that. So when you got into wheel repair, how long did you do that for?
I did wheel repair for about 6 years.
Okay.
But before that, I was what I was really passionate about was electromechanical technician. So I built control cabinets, like electrical control cabinets for machinery. I was in the ozone industry and the vacuum industry. So vacuum, where you basically pull all the atmosphere out of a system so you can create molecules and different things to coat things. And
so you're really smart.
Optics. I wouldn't say that. I'm just patient.
Come on, you're talking molecules and stuff. These dent guys are like, whoa, what is going on here? So you did that for a while. Then you got into wheel repair.
Yeah, because I kept getting laid off. So I worked for these
Okay.
companies that did government contracts, and about every 3 years, the government contracts would run out.
Yeah.
And I was one of the higher paid employees, so it's easy to let the higher paid guy go,
Of
even though
course.
I could do almost anything and multiple tasks.
Of course.
But I would get let go. So eventually, after 3 times of being laid off and being out of work for 6 months, I was like, I got to find something that I can control.
Yeah, of course. And that happens all the time. It happens a lot here because we
Hmm.
have so many government things here in Maryland. And I
Hmm.
hear people all the time, yeah, I've got a 3-year contract. I'll have to figure something else out. And, it always seems like
Hmm.
these guys kind of move from one deal to the next deal to the next deal. Um, so that didn't work out. You started working, how did you get in? How did you find out about wheel repair and all that?
Well, my wife had a family friend that was doing bumper repairs, and he was starting to get into wheels. So he was just starting to get into it, and he needed somebody to train to just specifically specialize in wheels. So I was needing a job, and he had one for me. So he trained me how to start painting wheels, which probably took me about 6 months to get proficient at it to where
Of
I could
course.
do quality work and that. So, but
Did you have like a trailer and all that stuff to roll
yeah,
around?
he built out a trailer for me with a little spray booth in it. So like most people would spray the wheels on the car at the lot. I got more proficient at taking them off the car and spraying them really quickly inside the booth. I'd do it actually 10 times faster than just sitting on the ground doing it.
Really?
Yeah. So
So when you were doing, did you guys do like the machine face and all that stuff, or did you have somewhere that you took those?
well, he ended up buying a machine to do that. So yeah, we break down the tires, break them all down, uh, remachine them, put the tire back on before we painted it. Like so, we put the tire on, not mount and balance it yet, but we'd get
Yeah,
it to where once we painted it, we weren't gonna damage the finish.
you were good to go.
Hmm.
Let
Yeah.
me let's get our buddy back on here. What's up, Manny?
Hey guys, delivery went well. No airbag lights on.
Yes. Yes.
Hey
So we
Josh.
we're going through Josh's background here. He did some crazy molecules and air pressure job first, some really, really smart stuff. So watch out,
No
Josh is
way.
he's on a different level than we are.
I was an electromechanical technician,
I was like, what is that?
so it's more on the electrical side. Um, so I built cabinets with millions of wires in them to control different parts of machinery that would do these processes. Like for ozone's air purification and water purification. So when you break it down, it's 3 parts oxygen. So if you actually get stuck in a area with ozone, and if it's just strictly ozone, it'll suck all the oxygen out of your body within a matter of 45 seconds. So if you're in an area,
See,
so it
Josh
takes all
is
the oxygen out of the air,
Wow.
but it kills almost every bacteria. There's I think one bacteria it doesn't actually kill.
COVID.
Wow.
So
Jesus, that's crazy, right?
Hey, you did that for
mhm.
how long, Josh?
I did that between the ozone industry and the vacuum industry for like coatings and things for like your glasses. I did that for about 8 years.
Wow. What year was this?
Um, I want to say 2007 to about probably 2012, 2013, somewhere in that range.
Oh wow.
Then he started
Hmm.
doing some wheel repair, got into
Hmm.
that. How long were you in the wheel repair business?
About 6 years
Oh wow.
And
Nice.
then
doing dealerships, body shops, customer pay.
how did you find the paintless dent repair? Just seeing other vendors while you were doing wheels, you were
Um,
kind of like, oh,
well, actually, I heard about it back in 2004 when I got married. Um, my wife's brother-in-law, his brother was a paintless dent repair technician.
Oh
He
no way.
did it for 30 years, but he's one of the older guys that wanted to keep it secret from everybody. And
We need to
my
get him
wife,
on. We need to get him on the show and talk about
he
that.
won't come on. He finally retired though.
Oh, did
So
he?
yeah, he just finally retired, and I ended up with all his big dealership stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, she told me like, yeah, he does this paintless dent repair and he makes really good money. But at the time, it's like I had no interest in cars, so I'm not a car guy per se.
Mm,
Um, they're more about function for me.
yeah.
But I've learned to like cars more now that I'm working on them constantly.
It's funny how that works, huh?
It does make the job easier sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's I worked on a rare one today. I would say I worked on it. I wouldn't say I fixed it, but I worked on it. It was a Aston Martin DB11, which I've never worked on before, and I broke the paint on the quarter. Yeah, it happens, man. It was pre-painted.
All
Mm-hmm.
right.
The body shop knew that it was, there could be a chance, and I was like, something looks really weird here where it was like a crease.
Mm.
And I almost think it wasn't a crease. I almost think it was the body filler that was there before that kind of shrunk back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I glued, and it was a wet pull, and I pulled it, and it like cracked. I could see mud underneath of it, but it didn't break the clear. You couldn't feel it with your finger.
Mm.
So I was like, I'm done. But anyway, let's get back to Josh. Doesn't matter about me breaking $300,000 paint jobs.
Better you than me.
Hey, you know what? This is what I told Shane all the time. The best part about our job, a lot of times, if you're at a body shop, they don't have to go anywhere. When you break the paint, it's there. You know what I mean? That's what they do. Unless you're Manny and you forget to plug in an airbag sensor, and
Man, shout outs to Great Doug Dent Repair of Minnesota. What's up, buddy?
Did you see his thing today with Josh's mustache on?
Yeah, he grew a mustache for me.
He did.
Is that what John was doing too?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. All right, Josh, so tell us more about your story.
Oh, where to begin? So yeah, I did wheels for 6 years. I got to a point where I was kind of like, it got draining. I was working for somebody. We did lose a big account, one of my bigger accounts, and it was out of my control. So it got me really thinking like I'm not in control of my business here. He was in control of it to a point. We're still friends. We talk every once in a while. So like the relationship's not ruined, but we both kind of like, he was trying to grow his business at a steady rate. And yes, I was driven, but I also needed more and things like that. So my father-in-law had a stroke when I was still working for him. And like John Von Deed said, like he had to make a choice. It was kind of like I saw that and I'm like, well, I want to be in a position to help when it comes time and help my family out. So actually the MTE, I met you, Ryan, back in 2020, January 6th. I was basically let go from the wheel job. He already knew I was going to get into PDR. So I got trained 6 months before that. But he continued to let me work for him, and I practiced where I could. I had a account that I was doing wheels for that gave me a little bit of work here and there, that stuff that they wouldn't pay the other guy to fix, but they'd let me fix just because they knew I was trying to learn. So they helped me out with that.
Who did you train with, if you don't mind me asking?
He's a good friend with a good buddy of mine. He also trained with me. We went. His name's Sam Kelly. He's out in New Jersey. Actually, he's in Pennsylvania now.
Okay.
He's Milford, Pennsylvania. He's a hail chaser, so he chases hail mainly. So I met him when he was down here for a hailstorm. We had a hailstorm in 2019 here.
Okay.
I was still doing wheels, but that was another big push. We had the hailstorm, and I was sitting there. The body shops kind of forgot about everything else. They were just focused on the hail.
Of course.
And like a big part of my income was body shop work. And I'm just standing there not doing anything because they weren't telling me what needed done. They weren't filing, just like pushing through those jobs because they had time on them.
Yeah.
So I'm like twiddling my thumbs, and so I'm watching all the hail guys and trying to learn wherever I can from them before I even trained.
And he was so, like, when I first met you, you were like, I'm just figuring this out. Like, we're in it now. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to figure this out. We talked for a little while. I think it was like at the Ultra booth. We were sitting there talking, and just, you were ready. You know what I mean? You were like, I'm new, but I'm going to figure it out. You know?
I had no choice.
The thing, and I really do think And I think, Manny, I think we've had this conversation. I really do think when you're put to pressure, right? When you get that pressure behind you, when you have a family and you have responsibilities, and I really feel like people excel, and I feel like they push themselves to that next level. You know what I mean? And I mean, Josh, did you feel that way? You felt a little bit of pressure behind you because you wanted to make it work.
No, I feel pressure every day. Going through this during COVID, like actually before this, actually in 2018, I talked to a guy, like another family friend does it across the state. So before I even made a decision, I'm like, I want to go and see if this was something I can do. So I called this guy, and he was who I was going to have train me, but he was kind of getting closer to, he didn't want to work every day. So I went over to Sebring, Florida. A guy named by Carl Bradley with Invincident over there. He's been doing it for 30 years. Phenomenal tech, fixing stuff that I didn't even think was fixable at the time. I called him. I was like, hey, can I just follow you one day and see how it is? And you showed me a few things. I want to see if this is something I want to get into. So he put me on a hood, showed me how to find my tip. So I sat there for 8 hours that day just trying to find my tip and push ties on the panel. And I'm like, to see the concentration I needed just to find the tip, I'm like, I can do this. I'm patient.
Yeah.
But things in life happened, and my grandfather passed away shortly after that, so I put it on the back burner. I just had to focus on what I was doing and that. So, and then, yeah, January of 2000, I was let go from Wheels and had one account that was giving me work every 2 weeks here. And I'm like, okay, now I got to figure it out.
And I didn't know it was that fresh when you were at MT. I didn't realize it was like fresh.
Yeah. So January, I think I made a whole total of $1,500 the whole month.
Hey, it's better than no bucks.
Yeah, which is better than no bucks. So, and then by March, I was making what I was making when towards the end of my wheel career, which wasn't the top of what I'm making. Like I wasn't at the height of what I was making for them, but it was reasonable.
Yeah.
And then March 23rd, they shut everything down. So I had
freak out.
Yeah, because I had one account that owed me for like 3 months of work, and they said we're not paying. So they owed me like $4,000, and they said we're not paying right now. You just have to wait.
Wow.
So I had to wait. I had to wait months for it. Finally, they did pay, but they switched over to a credit card payment, online credit card payment. So I ended up having to pay like $400 just to get the money they owed me. And then all while that's going on, so like for 2 months I didn't work. One of the months my dad ended up in the hospital. He one day woke up paralyzed from the waist down. He had a blood clot from his groin all the way to his carotid artery. So he was in the hospital for a month, and basically I had to put my business on hold because I was there every day, just making sure he was gonna.
Talk about life trials, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have a supportive wife. She took care of us during that time. She also started a new career right before the pandemic. She became a realtor here, which is a good thing. Real estate in Florida has been
off the
a lot better than most places. So like our first year in business, I didn't make anywhere near what I was making doing other jobs, but between the two of us, we made exactly what I made the year before together.
Okay.
So we weren't missing anything, so we were taking care of on that.
That's good.
What I always ask this question, like, what was your mental process through those times? Did you just kept telling yourself that everything was just going to work itself out? Did you just focus one day at a time? Did you, knew what the big picture was? I feel like we all know that we're going to go through trials and we're going to push, but it's the mental process of what was yours like?
Like I had sent a message to Ryan because he was asking about something, and I said like, there's been times where it's like, should I even be doing this? Like I've questioned, am I making the right decision?
Yeah.
But it's like I just focused on the day ahead. I gotta just put my head down. Tomorrow will be tomorrow. Like why get overworked over tomorrow because I can't control that. I can control what's in front of me.
Yep.
Focus on the task at hand. I can get all worked up about the next 10 years of business, but is that going to do me any good
No.
if I can't get through the first day?
Yeah.
So I know.
One step at a time.
hmm And it's like, obviously, we talk about how patient we have to be in this business. And I know we all lose patience on a repair. We get to a point where it's like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? Or am I going to finish it? We get frustrated, but you step back and clear your mind. And that's what I got to do daily. Some days are better than others. I've had a lot of good days recently, so it's been good, but just focus on the task at hand. Don't try to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we're our own evil. You know what I mean? Like you're in this point of you have pressure behind you.
Talk about evil. Shout out to Mr. Dent Evil, Joe Garcia.
You're trying to grow your business and you're trying to build your confidence. You're in that confidence building section of your career of really getting to where you look at Manny posts a lot of his repairs and stuff, and you look at it, you're like, how the hell does he? It's confidence. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of days that we all look at dents and we're like, I don't know, you know, but I think that's one of the hardest things in our business is you're trying to grow a business and your confidence of taking on some of these repairs. I don't know, you know, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard on you mentally. You know what I mean? You're trying to work through things. You had your family stuff going on. You had COVID going on. You had your wife getting a new job. You're trying to grow a business when everything opened back up, trying to figure out where you were. Everybody in this world after COVID was kind of like, whoa, where are we? You know, it's an unprecedented time and trying to figure out how to get back on your feet and figure it out. And it's hard. It's got to be really hard for a new guy out on the road trying to grow his business, figure out what's going on in the world and work forward.
Yeah. And I'm the guy, like, I told my wife before this, I was like, I never wanted to be my own boss. Like, I was the corporate guy. I wanted to work for the person I had. And, hey, James. James is a good buddy. He's about an hour south of me. We talk regularly, so he's been an encouragement to me. And so, like, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'll go work for somebody. And I almost did, but now that I look back on it, the choice has been the best one I could have made. Just staying focused on me and my family. So.
And you're passionate. I can tell you're passionate because on an average show, I guarantee you're the highest commenting person in the comments every single week. You're constantly involved, and you've helped grow this show because you guys chatting between each other. You know what I mean? This whole little community, everybody's commenting on each other and interacting, you know, and I think that's great. That's better than you know, us going through it every single week. Is you guys physically have built relationships and can communicate and work with each other through problems.
And
yeah,
you know,
very good.
I just wanted to point that out. You know, as I seen everyone on here just saying hello to you, Josh, and you know, saying nice things about you, I keep thinking like, wow, like this is Josh right here. This is what he's created. This is what he's put out there. You know, his humbleness and you know, and everyone that's saying hello, it's out of what you've created. You know, just
31 people in here.
That's. I hope you see
30
this,
more
Josh.
people than I thought.
I hope you see this, Josh, because that's awesome, man. You know, sometimes we don't see it, you know, and this is awesome, man. You know, just the support, you know, out of the support that you've created. I say a lot. It's not what we do for us, but it's what we do through us, you know. And I think that, you know, what you've done through you, it shows right here, you know.
I appreciate that.
And it's good. You get guys like him that are like, why are you asking me to come on your show? What do I have to offer? You know what you have to offer? the 5 guys that are watching this that are in where you were in 2020
Mhm.
and struggling and looking back saying, I don't know, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Mhm.
You're making it happen.
And I can't fix everything. I don't think any of us can. Like,
We all-
I'm still
I don't
still
know.
like very very new to this and that. So I didn't like I see these guys that they were in the body shop, but they have a different understanding. So it's taken me longer to get to those points and take on some of that. But my big thing is like I heard on one of the podcasts, like, don't say no just so somebody else can take it on.
Even if you screw it up,
Yeah. So
you know.
like, I mean, for a year before I even got into PDR, I was listening to every PDR podcast I could find, doing my research, trying to see like I'm in an area where like there's a lot of hill guys that live here that travel. Bryce Rockhill and his brother in my area, they're in the town right next to me, so it's like well-known people are in the area, but yet there's still plenty of work for a little guy like me. So
There's plenty of work for all of us. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I hear
yeah.
that all the time, like in competition. Like we have in Maryland, we have a huge dent wizard group here. I mean, there's a lot of dent
Mhm.
wizard guys here. And there's plenty of work. There's plenty of work for everybody. You know, it's just
Mhm.
everybody does something different. Manny's retail. You do a lot of wholesale. I'm kind of a hybrid. But I think that's one thing too, that when you're trying to build your business and get better, I feel like we're all kind of in stages. And when you're really growing, wholesale is really, really good because you're getting paid to figure it out.
Yeah.
And your speed comes.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it used to take me hours to fix a dime-sized dent.
Mhm.
So I could knock
So-
some of them out in 5 minutes, but that's I'm still a slower guy, so I know that, but
hey,
it'll get there.
what does that saying go?
Slow
Slow
is fast.
something wins the race. You know.
Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. You don't have to be fast as long as it looks good.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to, and I think that's what is that something that you saw as you started learning more about PDR, that like, oh, I could be really good at this because I'm patient.
The guy that trained me, he was trying to get me to stop on a dent. Like, he put some nasty ones in the hood, and I just would not stop until I got it out. And he was like, he's like, what are you doing? Like, we need to move on. I need to teach you something else. And I'm like, well, I'm here to learn how to fix a dent, so I need to fix the dent. And so he probably said I was one of the most patient people he's ever seen.
Wow.
But I think that comes being part of a big family. So there was 5 of us growing up, and I have a twin brother. So um,
You have a twin brother, you said?
I have a twin brother. So like
No
we were
way.
constantly competing here and there, but we're kind of completely opposite. So like most twins are really close, we were complete opposite. He despised me in high school, but now we've got a close bond now. So
You got patience because you can count molecules, is what I learned.
So you started fixing stuff, and and so how did it go from there? How did you just start building your own accounts? Did you?
yeah, I trying to think. I think one tech sent me to an account, and that's kind of put a good word in for me. But everything else, I just cold calling, knocking on doors, give me a shot. Hey, if your guy says no to something, give me a shot. Even if I couldn't fix it, I was going to take it on, at least show. So I still do that right now. Like if they ask me to look at something, I had a crushed Colorado fender the other day, paint's cracked and everything. And he wanted me to try to make it better. I'm like, well, I'll spend some time on it and see what I can do. Whoever messed with it locked metal up, and it was just beyond repair. It needed a body shop, but they appreciate that I was even willing
Yeah.
to try to do something with it, because
Yeah.
the guy that was there before just wanted to fix what he wanted to fix and wouldn't touch anything else. He had him convinced that body line dents couldn't be fixed. I can't fix all of them perfect, but I can make them look better.
Yeah. And yeah, and that's all you. That's all you need, you know. And
Mhm.
sometimes clients. I remember back when, like, I would take on any clients. All they want is just someone to just try.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't care if it worked or not. Just as long as you just try. You
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
that it's already like sold.
Mhm.
That on its own, it's just already what they
Yeah.
were looking for.
Now I had a customer like 2 weeks ago. I didn't fix the dent perfect. It was overstretched. I had to leave it high so that it wouldn't oil can.
Yeah.
And I explained all of it to her. She gave me a 5-star review over it and just wrote the kindest things, saying that he was told me up front that this was a difficult dent. It was going to maybe not come out perfect, but she was happy with the results. She understood because I explained what was going to happen.
Yep.
And there's times where I've given them a price and been like, I can't promise this is going to be perfect, but because of my honesty, they were willing to give me a shot. And some of them I haven't charged. I said I'm not going to charge you because I still wasn't happy, even though I explained it. So I gotta get better at finding a percentage so I'm not losing my whole day. But
Well,
that comes with time.
I think
Yeah.
our expectations are, and I've learned this myself. I think our expectations are way higher than the customers right off the bat.
Hmm.
Because a lot of stuff we see, they don't see.
Yeah.
You're trying to do, it's a gnarly dent. You're trying to do the best you can and you spend hours on it. I used to give a lot of stuff for free, but
Hmm.
now it's kind of like, I've got to make something, even if it was a
Hmm.
$300 repair and I only charge them $150 because I wasn't happy with it. And then
Hmm.
you see the customer go out there and they're like, oh my God, it looks amazing. And you're like, mm. But what that does is you're going to create that customer that's going to vouch for you and they're going to be
Hmm.
back. You're
Yeah.
going to build that clientele that
Yeah.
keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And you can't pay for
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
just had my first return customer this week from
look at that?
one of I fixed a old Thunderbird for him with not the old Thunderbirds, but the remake ones.
Yeah.
He had me come out and fix the quarter panel on it, a few small dents. That was like 2 years ago. And he calls me this week. My wife loved the repair so much that we need you to come out and fix another car.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, he's like, I got 4 other neighbors. I'm telling them about you.
That's
So,
how it starts, man. That's
Yep.
that
mhm.
small little. I know you guys have hot weather and you don't get snow, but it's like a snowball to where you're just slowly starting and it goes and grows and grows and grows and grows. Um, Treat your customers how you want to be treated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If this was you
Absolutely.
paying for repair, treat them how you want to be treated. Explain. The
Mhm.
biggest thing I think in our business is communication,
Mhm.
expectations, and just truly educating the customer when they drop off.
Yeah.
And
What do
so, Josh, so you do. Sorry, right? Go ahead.
you fine? Go ahead.
I was just going to ask. So you do more wholesale, more retail. What is your like goal towards the kind of customers that you want to have?
Right now I'm 90% wholesale and 10% retail. I don't do any body shops. They're kind of taken up by a few other companies that are around here. Plus, like I tell James Canterbone, it's like I think it's a mental thing. He tells me every day just go in there,
Yeah.
but mentally I had one body shop manager I told that I was getting into it, and he's like, when you feel comfortable and you have the mental state, come and see me, and I'll give you whatever work you want. I haven't got to that point mentally, and it's something I gotta overcome. And so talking to guys like James and John and you guys is getting me there, but I just still haven't broke that mental capacity.
Can I tell you a secret? Don't wait and just do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because it's all confidence. There's that confidence that we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier today. So, you just
Hmm.
need to jump full feet in. And the
Yeah.
pressure behind you when you're working on that den or whatever is
Hmm.
going to push through you. You're going to be able to, because you have to make it work. This is a make or break deal.
Yeah.
I feel that body shops are a very important relationship in our industry. I feel that even if you know that you can't fix a dent 100%, but if you could at least 60, 70, sometimes they're getting paid for just having a PDR guy try.
Yep.
You know, and the body shop doesn't mind that because now they could really just tell the insurance company, like, see, I told you, but guess what? You still got paid for it.
Yep.
You know, and the other thing too was that, you know, you're not there to take over the account. You're not there to be their number one. You just, hey, you know, like, you know, if no one can come to you, but, you know, here's my card. I'm just here to help. If you have your A guy, that's fine. I'll be your B guy.
That's it.
You already have A and B, I'll be your C guy. I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
You know, and
I get that.
You'll be amazed, Josh. Like, you know, when you have someone in the door that is just looking for work in the body shop, you'll find work.
Yeah.
There's enough work, you know, and it's easier there to be like, you know, if something didn't work out, oh, don't worry about it. I'm not going to charge you for that. You know, just, you know, you'll be amazed. Sometimes those shop end up working for you. What I mean about working for you is that if a client comes in, a small dent on the fender, but they really love their car, and the shop says, oh, we got to replace that fender. It's going to cost $1,500. Oh my God, I can't, you know. Well, you know, I have this guy, Josh, you know, he dropped out his card, you know, here his card. He may be able to help you out, you know, and even though your prices are not up there, but, you know, they're reasonable, it'll be perfect for that client. So now the shop, it's advertising for you. You know, they are putting your name out there. And if you could just have just a handful of those, you know, just like
free advertising.
And you know what's the other crazy thing too? Even though you know how many dent guys there is around you, you will be surprised how many body shops don't have a dent guy. You know, because a lot of those guys are typically, you know, expensive. So the shop only calls them for that one job that they're going to, you know they could sell. But they don't have someone for the little jobs that a dent for 75 or, you know, whatever. So you just never know. So unless you don't knock on those doors, unless you don't leave your car there, like, you know, you just never know. So, but I get it, you know, it's so, you know, we create so much fear of what they're going to say. They may not like me. They may say this, you know, it's just like.
And I think it's definitely a mental thing because I had a good relationship when I did wheel repair. Like I did all the body shops doing wheel repair. So I was very confident because of my skills there.
But
so
on the positive, that's your in. You're not new. So in your head, I already got a relationship with this guy. Hey, give me a shot. Here's my card. And that's hard. And I remember it. And it was funny because I had this conversation with Ashley. We were kind of reminiscing a couple weeks ago. And I remember when I started RPS, I had nothing. I had no accounts. I had no relationships. And I remember going in, and there were a couple days I knocked on these doors, and I came home. And I'm like, I look at her, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like I don't know. Like I'm knocking on these doors. I'm a pretty good dent guy. I don't know if this is gonna work. She's like, you better figure it out. There's that pressure point. You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's hard when you go out and you knock on doors all day and you come home. You feel so defeated, right? Like you're just the worthless person, and you really want this so bad. But when you get just a little bit, when you get in there and you get just one, and that puts the fire under your ass. But you need to leverage. You've got a little bit of an edge over some of these guys that are in here because you have some of those relationships already. You can just
I don't do wheels no more, but I do dents now here. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's your in. You're not going in as a blind cold call. You're going in as, hey Dave, how you been? I started my own dent company. You know, I understand Manny does your repairs, but if he can't make it or whatever, here's my card. Give me a call. I'll be your number 2. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I like being 2. You know, I'm good. That is going to do you huge. Because guys go on vacations. Guys can't make it. They get busy.
Yeah.
That's going to build your confidence up, and that's going to get that roller coaster up and over that hook, and then it'll just start rolling by itself. And I think that's where you are. I think you're kind of a quiet guy, but I think when you get that confidence going because you're so passionate about this, you're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, what I was doing before was my passion. That I was going to do that for the rest of my life, and I was like loved it so much I was willing to do it for free.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started doing PDR that I found the same passion, because it challenges me every day. Like I need to have that challenge every day, and like my mind is constantly going on things and that, so I never can turn it off completely.
Got to slow down counting those molecules.
And you know, the thing is that out of that, like it's good and bad, you know, because you love what you do so much that when it's good, but when it's bad, it's like it's bad, you know.
Yeah.
When it's DB11, it's bad. You know? So if you look at your day to day, what is your biggest struggle right now? Like, what do you struggle with when you get out of bed and you go to work? What is your struggle?
It's when I make the wrong move in a repair is my biggest struggle.
I still do that.
Coming back from it.
But that's where a good tech comes in. Okay. And I had this conversation with my guy, Mikey. You make that one bad push, right? You're in there, you're like, oh, okay. Where you need to work on is the recovery. Recovering from that dent and still making it work. And that's hard. That is hard. It's still hard. I've been doing this 21 years, and you push and you're like, oh, it's a bad push. Or you lock it up, or you don't get the crown all the way. But I get it. You're going to have that trouble. So let's go to the second next.
That's not
PR guy problem.
But
so
you know
let's move on.
I will say though, you know, something that I put in practice ever since the beginning when I started, every job, whether it was good or bad, I would always ask myself like one question, like, what is something that I would have done different?
Yeah.
You know, like no matter whether I did good or I did bad, what is one thing I would have done different? And you'll be surprised. It's, you know, even though you know those mistakes, but as you learn, you'll learn how not to do those mistakes again. You know, and I think that it's great to be able to recognize your mistakes. You know, it's just that personally we beat ourselves down a lot, you know, but I think it's very important to recognize those mistakes so that you know what to do different next time.
Wrong tool, wrong push.
Yeah, and it could be your favorite tool, but you know that it gives you wrong pushes. So,
yeah, and it's like being in business for myself. It's like questioning like my decisions every day.
Like, I still do that.
I know it's typical answers, but like I said, I never planned on being a business person and working for myself. So it's like I want to keep going constantly, and it's trying to find that balance where to stop. Me and my wife talk about it most recently because it's like I'm go, and I need to make more time for us and know that okay, the business will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's funny because 2 days ago, me and Manny were having the same conversation. So 21 years in dent repair, you're still gonna have the same problem. That life balance, and that's a whole nother show that I think we should have with a couple different guys, some new guys and some experienced guy. How to work on that life balance, because I think all of us can learn from that. We all have
Mhm.
different, different life situations, kids, no kids, wife works, whatever.
Mhm.
And we all have to figure that out. It is probably myself, one of the hardest things that I struggle with is that home life or work life balance. It's
Mhm.
that it's difficult because we're so passionate about our job. And there's a lot of people that aren't passionate about it. I told Manny that I said, me and my wife went, we haven't done a whole lot in a couple years. And we went to dinner on a Friday night.
Mhm.
And all we did was talk about work the whole time.
Mhm.
She's involved, so it's a little different situation. But it was our date night, and we're talking about RPS work stuff. Like, where's that balance? Like, let's
Yeah.
figure this out. But I think that would be a really good show, Manny. I think it would be good of
Mhm.
some new guys, some old guys, and just all of us talk and try to figure out how we can fix all of our problem because we all have it.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's been our life for the past 2 years. Both of us starting new jobs and careers, and we've been focused on that. Like that's where our passions have been, and just trying to find that balance. Like
Yeah.
obviously with COVID, we couldn't go anywhere either. Like we're stuck indoors, and that like yeah, Florida was open, but we have family members that are high risk, and so we had to be careful what we were doing because we didn't want to bring it because we live in the same house with her parents and that. So we with him having couple strokes, we had to be cautious. So it was extra hard for that. So
Now, as in tools, we're getting close to our end of the show, but as in tools, what is your number one go tool that you grab and you use on most of your repairs?
Matt Boyette will appreciate this. It's the dent slayer.
Look at
Since,
that. Look at
since I
that.
got that, I use that daily.
Look at that.
I got the tactical T handle, the Gorilla Grip T handle
Hmm.
at MTE this year. I've been putting it off, and I can't believe I waited that long.
It's a huge
Where
difference.
where I was trying to force dents out with that A1 handle. A1
Oh,
makes great tools, but trying to force it and have no leverage
yeah.
behind it, and then to go to that and just slightly, barely pushing some of these dents, and they just come right out.
Now, are you in a van? Are you in a truck? What is your setup right
Um,
now?
I was in a truck. I had a '07 Tundra that I was using for wheels, but because I'm in like a very highly corrosive area, because like where I live is the narrowest part of Cocoa Beach, so I got the ocean across the street and the river. I'm not waterfront, but basically they're front and backyard. So when I was driving home from Orlando one day, my alternator went out right in front of the airport on a busy highway, and I had to get across the traffic to park. Got it. Yeah, so it was a nightmare. I'm on the phone with my wife, and my alternator goes out, and the dash lights up, and so I get it towed to one of my dealerships that was giving me basically I wasn't paying for labor because they were all salary, and they got under my car and me not maintaining it and living there, and it was full of rust, and basically said it was going to cost $2,000 to fix the thing. So dealership ended up giving me like a good amount of money for the truck because of used car prices, but the thing didn't run. So now I'm using a RAV4. So I have a RAV4 that I work out of. So I'm saving a few $100 a month in gas from compared to the truck.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to dial that in and make it work for me.
There's a few guys that have done mobile service on RAV4s.
Yeah.
Mike Toledo, I think, had a RAV4 too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So yeah, I've watched his videos a few times to see how he's got it set up, and I got to build a little cabinet for my rods right now. I have like a bucket with all my rods in it, and then I have the T stack with my glue pull stuff. But I'm trying to figure out how to build a top for that to hold everything, and then just break it down and put it in there.
nice. How do clients find you, Josh?
I have a website that I got created about a year ago.
Okay.
I've got to Google My Business, which
Okay.
they're changing how that works soon
Yeah,
with
it's
Google
going
Maps,
away.
and so that's going to be a lot more difficult now. And then Facebook, Instagram. I don't pay for ads right now, just because it's like trying to figure out where to spend my money. So like I do a lot of the community groups, local community groups. posting in there, posting my repairs before and after repairs. If somebody asks a question, I have a detailer that I work with that we promote
Nice.
each other. So I'll
Nice.
promote him, he promotes me. So if anybody says something, asks about dents, even if it's paintwork, he's referring me. And if somebody's asked about cleaning something, I'm referring him. So
That is awesome.
trying to develop relationships and then use the relationships I had from the wheel business. Because even though it's been 2.5 years, I still get calls for wheels from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't do that. Call them. But if you need somebody to do dents, that's what I'm telling them. So
that's awesome, man.
The network is huge. That's like number one key in success is your network of people, you know. Those community groups are really good.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, Josh?
That's hard to say because
he's going to smoke you at the Dent Olympics is what's going to happen.
Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But if it keeps growing, like I've grown each year I've been in business, so I've always done better than the year before. So as long as I keep on that trajectory, and I'm not trying to get rich, I'm just trying to do enough to provide for my family and that. So I don't plan on having employees. I plan on just being a one-man show. I don't want to put myself to make somebody have an experience where I was a bad boss or feel like they can't control themselves or I feel the weight of that. And
what do you think it would take to get you there?
I don't know. It's probably hard because I've worked for so many people, even though I know I was the corporate guy and wanted to keep working. But when you feel like low because you're basically replaceable, I don't want to ever put somebody to where make them feel like they're replaceable. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the people that hire employees and because they're helping people out, and of course I want to help people out, but I'll do it in a way to where I can help them find a job or build themselves something.
You know, I think Ryan was right when he said that, like, you're gonna do so good. You know, you're gonna do so good in this industry, in this business, and whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you know, in your business with PDR and this journey, I believe that you're gonna do it. And you know, I just think that you just keep being and doing what you're doing. And it takes time, you know, that if you just keep pushing, and I'm telling you, keep doing what you're doing, be no problem, you know.
Now I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to put a challenge on you. We're going to hold you. I'm going to check in with you every week right now. This is my new thing. I'm going to challenge you. I need you to step out of your box and get out of your comfort zone. Starting Monday. I'll give you till Monday, and I'm going to check in every week. Step out of your box, get out of your comfort zone. Every week, do something that really makes you uncomfortable. Just trust me on this one.
Just like dents too, you know. You don't want to do that one dent. That's the dent you got to do. Like if the client says, "Oh yeah, take a look at these dents," which one can you do? The one that you know you don't want to do, that's the one you'll do.
I do it at the lot, like on the lot side. I take on anything and everything, even if I can get it better for the painter. I'll take it on.
You're driving by and you see this body shop and you're like, you're gonna go in and drop.
You know what's something I used to do with in my early days, Josh? I would have a list, and I still have it. I'll show it to you guys one day. I used to have a list, and every day I would make myself just drop off a business card to at least 2 shops.
Yep.
2 shops. And I had a little notepad, and I kept writing down the shop that I dropped off the business card to. And I would put so-and-so shop, so-and-so shop. Every day, at least 2 shops. At the end of the week, that is 10 shops that you've already dropped off your business card to. You know? After a month and you have a list of all those shops, eventually you've heard the saying, you know, you knock on 10 doors, one's got to open.
Yep.
Yeah.
So out of those 10 shops.
I did it with,
No, go ahead.
I did it with the dealership. one of the dealerships I got now, I went there for a year and a half weekly. I walk there a lot every week. Hey, you got these dents out there. One time the manager's like, if I got all that work out there, I must be doing something wrong. But he was loyal to the guy that was there. And then he just told me, well, once he retires, you're our guy. You had been here every week, showing that you want our work. So I finally got that, and not as busy as I thought it was going to be. Obviously, with the shortage of cars and things like that, it's digressed a
Weird
lot.
year.
But I know what it has a potential to be, and they're possibly building another store next to them that I could possibly get into. So just got to be a little bit more patient, but I'm still getting a little bit of work out of them.
Yeah. And so that's what I would do. Out of all that list, if a shop called me, I would put a star on them.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, and you do kind of like how they do for I don't know, they're not called trees. I think they have another name, but like the wine trees. Have you ever seen like a wine tree? It almost looks dead because it doesn't have so many like good like leaves and
Well,
but
they prune them
right
just so that they get their full yield.
and so if you look at how they trim them, they trim the branches that are not producing. They only keep in shape the branches that are working.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with your accounts. Your accounts that are not working, to the side. The accounts that are working, seriously, you keep, and eventually you keep adding more to the list that keeps working. Again, just like a wine tree.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it's like when you're farming every 7 years, you forget that field so that it can get the nutrients built back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Persistence wins the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Scott said it here also, like whatever your mind can conceive, it believe and it can achieve.
And he's
and
another guy that's self-taught. Scott Simpson taught himself. You know, so
yeah, and it's no doesn't bother me. I've heard no my whole life, so
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the word no. That just
Yeah.
means it's no this week. Next week's a different story. It's
That's right. I think you
it's just
already have that in you, Josh, that
mhm,
perseverance,
mhm.
that patience, you
Yeah.
know.
I think it's just a confidence thing because I had so much confidence from where I was with doing wheels in the body shop to learning a whole new skill where
And I'm sure it's
like
just like the wheels thing. When you started,
mhm.
it probably, it was
Oh
tough. And
yeah.
then,
Yeah, my boss after a month, like he had to go away for a little bit, so another guy was training me, and they had me painting the wheels start to finish. And he came back and was like, "Who taught you how to paint? You're horrible at this. We need to go back to starting you over." So, like for a month, I had to prep all the wheels, and somebody else got to paint them, and we had to split what we made that day. And I'm like, after that, I'm like, I was driven. I'm like, I'm never letting somebody do that to me again.
yep.
Granted, I worked for him for 6 years after that, but it was just in my mind. I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And PDR is tough, man. It's a
Mhm.
hard. I tell body guys all the time. I had a body guy today. He's like, "You ever train anybody?" I said, "Yep," and I'll never do it again. And he's like, "Really?" And we were talking, and I said, "How hard it is." You get some of these older guys, and I feel like the body shop industry's changed a lot, and a lot of these body guys
Mhm.
are learning glue pull, which is super cool. I love it. I
Mhm.
love that they're getting educated. And I'm like, man, it's so hard in the beginning. It is hard when you have a family and you're trying to make some money
Mhm.
and grow and learn. It's just really hard. It's a lot harder than I think people give it.
Mhm.
It's definitely difficult.
You
Yeah,
know,
and
no, go ahead, Josh.
I was just saying, it's like if you have nothing and you're trying to start, you got to push that much harder
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make it work because some guys have nothing to start from. So
Yeah.
I had no accounts and was all out on my own. My last paycheck was only enough to cover what we had at that moment.
Yeah.
So
If you had someone wanting to start in the PDR industry, what would be your advice to them, Josh?
my advice is find somebody first that'll let you try it, like even if it's just a hood, um, to find out if it's for you. Don't don't wait, like if you're not patient, you're not like you're gonna know. I think within the first few minutes of trying to
Yeah.
find your tip, if it's something you're gonna do.
And take
Like
your
I
time.
like that one guy showed me for 8 hours that one day, and I sat out on the hood for a month in my garage, just watching the light reflection. He let me borrow this light. It was like like his old fluorescent light that he turned into an LED light.
Yeah, boy.
And so it's like you're not seeing much with it at all. So I'm just trying to watch how the metal moved and that. So like if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have wasted a bunch of money because I probably would have been trained and been angry and that. But I know like I did 1 week of training. I know a lot of people say that's not enough, which I don't think it's enough. You probably need more. But if you're persistent enough and have a desire, you're going to get through it. But proper training, obviously, is going to be your best bet to make you move faster. If I probably had a month's worth of training, I could have got farther than where I am now, but it's okay. I'm doing the best I can. Me and my wife are happy. Obviously, we got to figure out that work balance, but
When you figure that out, let me know, please.
yeah.
You know, you said two very important things, and I just want to point this out. You're doing the best you can, and you're happy.
Mm. Yeah, that's all that matters to me is
It
That's
is,
our
man.
happiness.
all that
I'm
matters.
like, I love people. But when it comes down to their opinion of me, if they don't like me, I'm okay with it. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lose sleep over it. I
I,
try to be the nicest guy I can, but I
I,
can't worry about somebody hating me.
I tell clients all the time when they tell me, you're going to make this perfect, right? I'm going to give you my best.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing. It didn't come perfect from the manufacturer, so how can you expect me to make it perfect if they don't make it perfect?
Yeah.
And
Don't tell them that, though, 'cause,
No.
wow.
each person's definition of perfect is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we discredit ourselves a lot of times.
Mhm.
We're so hard on our repairs. You know, we look at them, we're like, and the customer comes out, they're like, oh, this is perfect. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh no, I'm gonna lose sleep over this tonight, you know?
Mhm.
But I'm proud of you
Yeah.
because it's been 2 years and you're figuring it out, man. You haven't given up. You're pushing through it. And
Mhm.
it's awesome. It's awesome to watch you grow. But
I'm invested.
I really think you need to leverage your relationships with those body shops because
Mhm.
you're not new. You know, you've got it. That's the easiest part. The
Mhm.
easiest part is to walk in and be like, "Hey, what's up, Manny? How you doing?" Instead of, "Hey, I'm Josh. I know you have a guy, but I'm
Mhm.
better than him." You know what I mean? It's that
Mhm.
awkwardness of not knowing who he is. You've already got him. Leverage that.
Mhm.
Even if somebody's in there, even if James is in there, you're still going to go in. I'll be your number two.
Mhm.
Here's my card. I'll be your number two. James goes on vacation. He goes fishing.
Mhm. No,
So
James is a great guy.
you
He's
know,
helping me build up the confidence. He tells me
that's
every
it,
time I
man.
talk to him.
I'm telling you. Here we go, right here. Checking with you every week. One
Mhm.
thing out of your box. You're
And
gonna
that's
call
it.
me up and you're gonna be like, Ryan, why'd you put me on the spot? We're doing it.
And
I'm
that's
here for you.
Mhm.
that's the cool
No.
thing about our industry, that we're here to support each other. So
Mhm.
um, Ryan or I or anyone in here, if there's anything out we could help you out with, if you
Mhm.
got a question, anything, man, just
No, and that's what I appreciate. John Vidine answers his phone every time I call him. James, same way. Matt Boyd, I've called a couple of times and talked to him, and like Matt and James are not far from me. I finally met them both at MTE for the first time, and
nice.
just finding a way to get together and bounce ideas off. That's where it's at right now. Just finding the time and that to help me grow, but also having the family balance is where the struggle lies in. So,
Yeah. How do people find you, Josh, on social media? You say you
um,
have Facebook, IG.
yeah, Facebook, it's Atlantic Paintless Dent Repair. On Instagram, it's Atlantic PDR. And then my email or my websites, AtlanticDentRepairs.com, and you can link to those. And then my personal is just my name, Josh Rodriguez, but I even use that as a business page. I don't post much unless it's my repairs. Every once in a while, I'll post something personal, but not very often. I post a lot of personal stuff just because you never know who's out there. I try to keep some things private. So
Nice.
Well, Josh, we really appreciate your support for the show. You know, like I said, you're in here every week. You never miss.
I've missed 2
Oh,
live ones. I went back and watched them, but I missed the live
you
ones.
know,
My wife every Thursday. You got your dent show?
she's like, that Ryan and Manny.
Don't you get enough of them guys? No, just kidding.
James Bernard's a good inspiration too. I've never met him personally, but between me and him, I guess we win more things in PDR than most. That's either me or him. So
nothing wrong with that. I mean,
yeah.
Is there anything that you would want to ask to the community? I mean, you're on the show. We're all here. You know, just pretend we're out on the table. Is there anything that before you go you want to ask the community? If we could help you with something.
Really, I just ask everyone just to be open.
Yeah.
Help us all out. Like all of us have struggles. All of us are dealing with something that we can't get over. I obviously am fairly newer, but if I can help anybody out, I'm always willing, and just hopefully get the same in return from ones.
And honestly, I think you are already by just being able to tell your story. You know, I already saw a comment on here that, you know, he picked up a few things here and there just by listening to the story, you know. And I think you're already doing it. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said yes.
I was nervous.
I know. I could tell when we first got on, he was nervous. I was like, look, dude, it's just us talking. You comment on here. You don't even have to type today. Like, you can just talk.
Now I have no excuse that James is always pushing me to do live videos or
look at that.
Show my face more often. Now I have no excuse now that it does so.
After the third time, it's easy peasy.
Yeah.
It's always that third one. When you get over that third one, you feel awkward. You're really nervous the first time. The second time, you're like a little awkward. The third time, you're off.
Yeah, I don't record like my repairs or even video them. I did one of a rail. Didn't come out perfect. And then on the tactical, they were doing that glue pull contest. I'm just like, I'll submit it, see what happens. And I was impressed that I even got 5 likes, but I ended up with like 35 likes. So made me a little more confident. So I got to get onto that too.
There you go. There you go.
Just
and
relax.
that was out of my box. Like, like I'll do photos, but just filming it and actually getting other guys' opinions on it was definitely hard for me.
Yeah. Josh, keep doing what you're doing, man. Best wishes to you, you know, and don't forget whatever you put your mind to is just like, you can make it, you know, jobs, you know, some dents are going to be easy. Some dents are going to be hard, you know, it's just like you said earlier, just one step at a time, one dent at a time, one day at a time.
It's like everyone says, we win or learn, and I learn a lot.
Yeah.
Don't win so much, but I learn a lot.
You know, it's funny. Some clients is just like, oh, how did you learn? You know, I learned by, you know, by just, you know, just working on cars. Just what is the word I'm trying to look for? Just like trials and errors.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, whoa, what do you mean? That is just the truth.
Yeah.
You know, so just we have this one saying in our industry that I love, and it's just keep pushing.
Yep.
Get
out of that box.
We're gonna get knocked down, but get back up.
That's right.
Leverage what you got. You know what I mean? That's your best thing is if you got relationships, leverage them. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's grow that thing and be that number 2.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with number 2.
I ain't worried about being number 5. It just,
you know what I mean?
I gotta get out of my head.
That's it, man.
I'm not worried about being the last call as long as there's a call.
I love that one.
We're in it now. We're in it now. I'm gonna do a checkup on you every week, man.
Mhm.
So we're gonna get out of that box. We're gonna do this together.
And like I
Mhm.
Because I've
said,
been
man,
there. I've been there. You know, it's tough. It's hard because you drive past, you're like, I should stop. I should stop. I should stop. I'll do it next
Mhm.
week. And
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I've been there.
Mhm. And
But when you do stop
one of
and
the
you go in
dealerships
there,
has a body shop on it. Like they have a body shop there, and I could just easily walk there. But I'm like, actually they
I'll
had
do it
me go
next
look
week.
at a used. They had me go look at a used car in the body shop, and I still didn't give them like my card of like, yeah, just mental factor. But
I
okay.
will tell you though that I feel like wholesaler guys, like dealer guys, that guys, they're known for that, just to be on their own little world. Like they don't talk to no one.
I'm
And I
the
say
guy on the
that with
lot that's talking
respect.
to myself.
I say that with respect. I know all the wholesalers out there like, well, what did you just say, man? No, I say that with respect, you know? So
Mhm.
it's just me telling you, like, do it, Josh, because, you know, that a lot of them don't, you know? Just have those conversations, you know?
Mhm.
Give your card out. And it's just like what you've done with everyone online. Look at it. Like
Yeah.
everyone just has love back to
Yeah.
you. So
Mhm.
imagine if you
Nah.
just did that in person. You know what I mean?
No, and I think all the guys that reached out to me and talked to me, I can't mention all of them, but Dave was another big one that's
Yeah,
been
that
there.
was.
They set up their Discord channel for a while, and I was on there talking to other dent guys from around the country. We're in a group communicating about our struggles and that, so that helped a lot.
That's cool.
So
Well, buddy, I'm proud of you.
no, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Keep doing
Yeah,
it. And
no problem, Josh.
I knew you're gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight because you weren't commenting in there. So you
Mhm.
know. But
I got to go back. I got to go back and like everybody else's comments now. So,
I appreciate you coming on. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you said yes. And that's what I said to Manny on the week. I said, we got a good one. We got a good one. He's like, who? I'm like, Josh Dragos. He's like, it's going to be a good one.
Thank you for all the
Yeah.
support, Josh. Thank you.
And at MT, I was trying to meet everybody as much as possible. There was a few people I didn't get to meet that were there and just couldn't find them. But if I didn't meet you at this one, hopefully we'll meet up at the next one.
That's right.
You have a great night, buddy.
You guys as well. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Get out of that box.
Best wishes to you.
See you, buddy.
All right. You guys have a good one.
See you.
What a great one.
Yeah.
What a great show, man.
Shout out to Corey in the house. Hey, by the way, I think Mike Toledo and Joe are going to have a podcast today. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's after the show too. I think they're
No, they had it earlier.
Did they had it earlier? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that if it was after, you make sure that you guys go out there and listen to their podcast too, or watch it if you can. We're all here for one another, you know. So just how dent guys help other dent guys. Let's support the shows, you know, because we all
Free
can
hugs.
learn something from one another, you know. And don't
Free
forget
hugs.
free hugs this Saturday.
All right, buddy. Well, we're way past for an hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah, no. Thank you for everyone that joined in.
Yeah, it was a good one.
This is our community, you know, so we try to stay here together. So, yeah, thanks for your support.
Keep going. Keep pushing.
Ryan, congratulations on your grand opening on Saturday. Best wishes to you.
We need it. We need it. Next week, we'll have that conversation. Be like, how's it going? Well, there's a lot more police involved than we expected.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
Don't let
And
them
it's cool because like
settle
Adam
down.
Jones is coming up from Florida,
Oh, nice.
you know, so there'll be quite a few dent guys there. So I'm excited for that. A couple local dent wizard guys and a couple other guys coming from out of town. So I'm excited for that. Just wish you were coming.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry.
we'll have to go
Yeah.
live.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll be with the family, so we'll see. But yeah, no, best wishes to you too, man. Have fun. And yeah, I can't wait to hear all about it.
You guys have a fantastic evening. Be safe. keep it real and
Keep
We're
pushing.
we're going to see you next week, and be safe.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
See you.